Hello, great people. Investors need to be knowledgeable about where they put their money into, particularly about Ponzi and pyramid schemes. And in this video, we're going deep to unpack all you need to know about this con game investment in Ponzi scheme. How Ponzi scheme work. My name is Felix and welcome to Mind Your. Let's dive in. In our previous video, we had talked about pyramid scheme. So in this video, we're gonna major on Ponzi scheme. Under this series, we called scammer. Now, fraudsters using Ponzi scheme have scammed a large number of investors by promising them extremely better return, between 25 to 30% or higher on their investment. When they get the money from investor, rather than actually making any investment, fraudster simply pocket the investor's money for her or himself. He'll be able to continue with the scam by attracting new investors and using part of their money to pay return to earlier investors in order to gain more confidence from the public. Some fraudsters, as we've seen in Kenya, make it look so legit, and some could even advertise in both print and digital media just to gain public. In return, the early investors would help the founder attract new investors by bragging about the amazing returns they're earning with him or with her or from that company. However, ultimately, it will get to the point where it can't attract enough new investors to pay off the growing number of previous investors. At that point, the scam is definitely discovered and things will just fall apart. Let me share what I call the conning process, or stages through which this Ponzi scheme is executed. At stage 1 now, the fraudster attracts an investor by promising them extraordinary return on investment. For example, let's assume the perpetrator of the Ponzi scheme gets an initial investor to give him, let's say, 500,000 to invest, promising a return of, let's take the list, of 25% or better. Now, after that is well done, they go to the stage 2. Now, in the second stage, the fraudster never invests the money received and just take it for themselves. So the first money received is not invested at all. They take it for themselves. At stage 3, they attract a second investor who also invests the same amount of 500,000 as the first investor. Now, out of that money, the fraudster pockets 75% because he had promised 25%. So 75, which is 375,000, and uses the 25, which is 125,000, to pay the previous investor is 25% return. And remember, this is paid promptly. Keep in mind that the investor's 500,000 has never been invested in anything, but they believe that it has been, and that it will continue to earn huge returns. At stage 4, the fraud can continue until the schemer can't bring in enough new money to pay returns to all the previous investors. For example, assume that the operator of the Ponzi scheme has managed to attract 100 investors, all investing approximately 500,000 each, and is bringing in approximately 10 new investors each month. The problem at that point is that even all the money invested by the month's new investors is not sufficient to pay 25% returns to 200 previous investors. Thus, the scheme collapses and the fraud is discovered. If you compare Ponzi scheme to pyramid scheme, which we talked about in the last video, I would say that for pyramid scheme, it is at least it's possible for an investor to legitimately earn a return on the investment. Unlike for Ponzi scheme, which is an outright case of fraud. It is fraud from, like, it's pure fraud. So let me say that getting money is difficult. So let us just not fall for these cheap, easy investment opportunities promising us unrealistic return. Let's be careful with our investment, and don't forget, if you can remember what happened with quail eggs, and again what recently happened with the greenhouses, which is still in court. So let's be very careful. If possible, ask for an expert's opinion, or just do your own research before you commit your money. And the history of a company, of an investment vehicle, matters most. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and till next time, bye bye. If you have a comment, hit this comment section below.